Let's look at the final page of Project 2. So this is actually a pretty straightforward sheet, but I know it gets confusing because of the way that this sheet is set up. So let's take a quick look at it. So remember, variance is the difference between what you actually budget, what you actually budgeted to spend on something, and what you actually spent on it. That's your variance. Okay? So you're asked to calculate variance. Now, this variance that I have circled corresponds to our April budget. And our other variance, this one, corresponds to your May budget. But you're comparing both of them to this amount budgeted in red. So think of the column in red as this person's recurring monthly budget. So they have the same budget every month, but obviously your expenses month to month will differ. So if I want to look at, for example, the transportation line, I see that the variance, to find it, I would have to take what I actually budgeted, which is $315, and subtract it what I actually spent, which is $300. And that's going to give me some number. So that's my variance in transportation for April. And I'll go through line by line and compare what I budgeted to what I actually spent. Notice, for example, credit card payment, I budgeted and I spent the same amount of money. So that just gives me a variance of 0. In some cases, as you see here with 300, I actually spent less than I budgeted, right? 300 is less than 315, so this is going to be a positive number. But if you look down here, I budgeted $50 for entertainment, but I spent $56.70. That's going to give me a negative variance. So a negative variance means I overspent, while a positive variance means I saved money or I underspent, which is a good thing, right? So again, to find variance for April, which is represented in this column, all I do is compare what I budgeted and subtract off what I actually spent. If I spent too much, I'll get a negative number. If I spent less than I thought, if I had money left over, I'll get a positive number. And if I spent the exact amount I anticipated, I'll get a 0. So you'll do the same thing when you come over to May. So I'm still going to compare. Here's what I actually spent. I'm still going to go over here and compare it to 315. Okay, same thing with the next line. I'm still going to take this 60 and compare it to my original budget. So I budgeted 50, I actually spent 60, and that's going to give me my variance. Okay? Now, there's another column called 2 months variance. So that's just asking me to total up my variance over the past 2 months. So you can see the way they've done it here. They had a $25 variance for groceries and then a negative $25 variance for groceries in May. So they added those together and got 0. Utilities, they underspent $5 and they overspent, they overspent $5 and they underspent $5. So it's a 2 months variance of 0, and so on. So all you're going to do is take the first variance you calculated and add it to this second variance you calculated. So this plus that, this plus that, and so on will give you this column. Okay? Finally, you have to total up your variance. So that's going to give you an idea of collectively, did you end up saving money or spending money? Okay? So that means you're going to take this whole piece right here and add up each individual item, and that's going to give you your total variance. That's going to give you your total variance. Okay, so that's it for this page. This is a really, really practical page to practice on, precisely because it is a budget, and chances are you're going to use a budget in the future. So pretty cool. Hopefully this has been a good explanation. Let me know if you have any more questions about this page.